Create a new project with the Angular CLI, passing it the strict flag. The strict flag enables some additional type checking and safety features. Let's start by taking a look at the changes in the tsconfig.json file in the root of our project. You'll notice some additional TypeScript compiler options and Angular compiler options that wouldn't normally be present in an application not using the strict flag. Let's take a look on the effect these stricter options have on our code. Let's start by adding an input that passes an options object. You'll notice TypeScript is now reporting an error. The issue is we have said it is a type options, when it may in fact be undefined. We should tell TypeScript that this value may also be undefined. Now, TypeScript has removed the error. Alternatively, we can give it an initial value. That will also satisfy TypeScript. For now, we're going to keep it as undefined. This is also important when trying to access properties on this object. As you can see, TypeScript is reporting an error because we're trying to access the name property on a potentially undefined object. We can solve this by using the nullish coalescing operator, which will ensure options is defined before trying to access the name property. There are a few other things these TypeScript flags enforce, but these are the two most common ones. Let's take a look at the effects that the Angular compiler options have on our classes. Strict injection parameters ensures that we only attempt to inject things that Angular can resolve. For example, if we were to create a constructor that injected something that was a string, the injector cannot resolve this as it is a primitive type and not a service or an injectable. Now, we get a helpful error message telling us that string is not a valid parameter type inside an Angular component, whereas before, this would have been ignored and resulted in a runtime error. We now also have the strict input access modifiers flag, which ensures we don't access properties that we shouldn't in the template. Properties that are marked as private or protected should not be accessible from the template. We also shouldn't be able to write to a read-only property. Here, we create an input and use ngModel to reflect the value back to the class. However, we're assigning it to the private value property, which we should not be allowed to do. As you can see, we get a warning telling us that identifier value refers to a private member of the component, and therefore we shouldn't be using it in our template. We also get additional type checking in our templates. If we try and use properties on the options objects in our template, we're going to get a warning telling us that options may be undefined and we should use the safe navigation operator. Additionally, if we try to use a property that doesn't exist on options, we're going to get an error telling us that age is not defined and options does not contain such a member. There is also a small change to the linting configuration in the project. We now have the no_any rule added, which prevents us from using the any type in our code. This makes our code much more type safe. The budgets in the Angular configuration have also been reduced by approximately 75%. This will allow you to be informed if your components grow too large or you've accidentally imported something you shouldn't have. Lastly, there is an additional package.json file that has been added to the app folder in your project. This package.json file marks the application as side effect free, which can help Webpack perform additional optimizations at build time to shrink your bundle size.